You can answer him.
I must say, men have been loyal. Is that a phone? Soldiers!
Aaron's true motives are revealed, but his wife suffers as a result. As Sheriff Conley faces a takeover at the precinct, Andrew persuades the highest to let him get rid of incriminating evidence. Alright, you guys, what's good, everybody? It's your girl, Tika Deshawn. Thank you all so much for tapping into All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts. We see that Aaron has been caught in the pavilion with that cell phone. So the highest basically makes him pull the phone out, doubt who it was that called him, and it ends up being Aaron's parents. Because I was like, who is calling him out of nowhere? But it ends up being Aaron's parents. And the highest makes him put the phone on speakerphone just so he could confirm that it is who he say it is. He didn't want Aaron lying to him. So now, because Aaron pulled almost like a trick on his parents, or he said something to the fact that this is, the tent was white, not red, because his father mentioned a different color of the tent. Is the tent okay for you? And Aaron pulled, he said, no, it's white. He changed it. So the highest was like, what? You're lying. He hangs up the phone, pushes the disconnect phone number on the phone, and he tells the soldiers to come and get him and take Aaron to his trailer. He also sends River to take him to the trailer as well. And River plans to set up Aaron the way that the highest does him. So then we see Andrew, you guys. Andrew has the highest and Daikon make their way to talk to Andrew and say, I heard that you have a plan to get rid of Brian and Lynn's body, and if you don't come back, those children that are here are going to be lined up across the fence hung with your name on them. So the highest plans to take the lives of the children if Andrew does not follow through with the plan that he's supposed to follow through with and make his way back to the Rakadushi compound. Andrew says, I will be back, your highest. I love you. And then he kisses the hand as if he's John Gotti or somebody. He kisses the hand of the highest. Now then we see the FBI agents have finally met up with Sheriff Conley. Sheriff Conley had them waiting for a while, and he was about to lie as to where he truly was or allegedly was supposed to be. But Liz said that you were supposed to be across the border or across the county line. And so Sheriff Conley's like, yeah, I was at the county line. So Conley is doing some dirty shenanigans, and now he's literally caught. The FBI agents, Desiree and Cal, have made their way to the precinct, and they're about to shut this thing down. So they go back into Conley's office because Conley's like, well, how can I help you? Conley, you know why they are there. They're there to look for Brian and to get more information. Conley is not cooperating at this moment. So then, you guys, we see Daikon and Andrew, and Daikon points over to the kids and he lets Andrew know, hey, if you don't come back, those kids are dead because of you. So Andrew is like, I can assure you that I will be back. I'm hoping when he comes back, he'll come back with the freaking FBI, y'all, because it's getting crazy. And he needs more than just 5 FBI agents. He's going to need literally an entire army. So then we see Conley and Cal and Desiree in the office of Sheriff Conley, and Conley is still running game, not willing to give the info. But then Cal is not playing with Conley. Cal is like, look, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, if you don't give us this information, we are gonna. And then Desiree interrupts and says, look, let me talk to him, Cal. So again, Desiree tries to talk to Conley kindly and softly, and he's like, oh, I see what this is. Good cop, bad cop. And Desiree's like, look, I'm definitely not the good cop. I'm not the one you want to mess around with. There was a lady that was on the Rakadushi compound by the name of Tally, and she ended up escaping, but also ended up killing herself. So what you're going to do is give me the information that I need. Where's Brian? So Desiree is not playing. So she says, okay, I've tried to work with you. I've tried to, compromise with you. At the end of the day, it's about to go down. And next thing you know, the rest of the remaining FBI agents walk into the Rakadushi, or walk into Sheriff Conley's little precinct. Shout out to our girl Lonnie Grant. We just recently did an interview with her. She is one of the FBI agents. So moving on, Desiree lets Conley know, look, Cal is going to be with you every step of the way. So whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to scheme, it's not going to work. Because you're going to have a bodyguard walking around with you, and that is going to be Cal. Cal does not like Conley, so good luck. Let's see how Conley gets his message to the Rakadushi. This is going to be interesting. So anyway, we see Desiree. She's out and she's talking to Kate and letting Kate know, hey, you're going to be my best friend at this point, because Kate knows a little information about the Rakadushis. So she says, okay, now you can get that coffee for me. Because at the beginning, was not feeling Kate. She didn't want to say anything to her. She had nothing good to say to her. But now she needs Kate, and now she has to play Miss Nice Lady. But anyway, you guys, then we see our girl Zane and Elder Mother Marva in the punishment trailer. Elder Mother Marva's like, nope, I don't want you to punish me. We can wait for the highest. At the end of the day, Zane should have went on and popped her, but we see the highest walk into the punishment trailer, and the highest has a smirk on his face. Like, how is it that you did nothing that I told you to do? I didn't tell you to mess with the men. Do not do this again. Do not mess with these men again. So as Zane is walking out of the punishment trailer, she sees Manny, and Manny lets her know, hey, I'm going to be the one to marry you. The highest is allowing us to take wives, and I'm going to be the one to marry you. I understand that I'm being punished by the Raku, but I want you as my wife. And Zane is like, no, I'm not marrying you. I'm not doing anything of the sort with you. And she has run away frantic, because this man who has been punishing her, raping her, abusing her, is now about to be her husband. So then we see again Elder Mother Marva in the punishment trailer. So the highest lets her know, you were sleeping with 21 out of 26 men. Elder Mother Marva, y'all, the WAP, she was getting it in. That's all I can say. She was, messing around with them. And now, but the highest allows her to leave the punishment trailer. He says, this is your punishment, me talking to you. I don't know if the highest automatically got a conscience for being on old women, but she definitely needed a little more punishing, other than what the highest did, which was a talking to. So then we see Lewis and Daikon outside of a trailer, and Daikon asks Lewis, why is it that Elder Mother, or did Elder Mother Marva mess with the men? And he says, yes, he messed with Manny, because he was specifically asking about Manny. And he says, the thing that I saw was Manny was in the medical trailer trying to get some help, and he saw Manny's hand underneath Elder Mother Marva's dress. Now, y'all, we saw the scene too. So anyway, 10 toes down, Lewis absolutely stood up for his boy Manny. A lot of people didn't think he would stand up for him, but he did. I thought it would be a life or death type situation where he would lie for Manny, but he stood up for him. He went along with the story. So then we see this new Rakadushi member by the name of Helena, and she's talking to Ruth, and she's frantic. She's like, I don't want to marry. These men treat us like garbage. And Ruth is like, girl, you're just going to have to use your feminine wiles to get these men to treat you better. Now, Ruth should just give a life lesson or a life class about how to be with a man, because she's literally giving everybody this same ridiculous advice. So then we see Joan. Joan has made her way into the kitchen trailer where Ruth is, and she tells her, it's your fault that the highest is making us marry. Now Ruth lets Joan know, look, you acting real jealous. Like, be glad, but you're acting very jealous. Do you want to marry the highest? Do you want to marry, somebody else? Like, what's the deal with you? And so then uh we see Manny, who has made his way to approach the highest. He apologizes for the situation earlier. Now, the situation where Aaron had the phone, the highest asked who was responsible for checking this man's bags. Who was responsible? So George stood up and said, I'm responsible and you can punish me, your highest. Now, George took the fall for Daikon. What's the nature of George and Daikon's relationship is my next question. Drop the comments below, you guys. What do you think the nature of their relationship is? Why would George stand up for Daikon out of all things? And we know that George was like ready. He was not feeling the whole Rakadushi compound with his body language, with his side eye and everything. So anyway, Manny asked the highest to enlighten him because he wants to get married. So the highest says, well, is there a woman here that you want or that you're in love with? And Manny proceeds to let the highest know, no, it's not that I'm in love with anyone. I just want to level up the way that Andrew and Daikon have leveled up. So the highest is definitely suspicious of Manny, for Manny coming to ask him that question. But we soon learn that Manny is really not the type of man that the highest will enlighten, because Manny is big and strong, and the men that the highest is looking for are weak and feeble type dudes. So what you trying to say? Andrew was weak and feeble looking? Anyway, you guys, we see Zane run into the trailer. She is crying. She is frantic. Don't know if she's coming or going. And she tells Ruth, look, the highest is going to make us marry the men. And Manny told me that he is going to pick me for him. And I don't want to go with Manny. I do not want to be with him. And so Ruth has to slap her to calm her down. And of course, Zane goes into her apologetic state. I'm sorry. So then she lets her know Manny can't even get enlightened. He's not the highest. First of all, Manny can't even marry you because he's not enlightened, and he's not the type of man that the highest will enlighten. So we're going to see if Manny is going to make it to that enlightenment that we've been looking forward to since he has been torturing baby girl Zane. So then we see Aaron and River in the highest's trailer. Now, River has tied Aaron up in a manner in which the highest would normally tie him up. He is being very graphic that the highest will put one of those balls around his face and will choke him with it and will beat him, and just being real graphic. So then the highest walks into the trailer and lets him know, look, I didn't tell you to do this. I only told you to bring him to my trailer. So this is the way, even though the highest has subliminal messages, the way that he delivers his messages to the soldiers to do certain things, he also makes it seem as if he's the good guy, and this is not what he intended for Aaron. So the highest sits down with Aaron, offers him a drink. Of course, Aaron is leery. Look, I don't want to drink anything behind you. Like, I don't want this drink. But the highest basically forces him to drink. He has him, look him in Aaron is looking him in his eyes because he's looking like, I want to see you drink as well. And then the highest asks Aaron, what is it that you want? And Aaron is, the highest, he's saying, I want to leave. I don't want to be on the Rakadushi compound. I just want to take my wife and go. Like, we've seen enough. We just want to go. So the highest says, well, your wife is with me now. I love her. She's here on the Rakadushi compound. She's not going anywhere. She does not want to leave. And so Aaron is like, well, what do you mean? So the highest says, I can bring her out. He's like, what do you mean bring her out? I've been talking to her. She's here and I can bring her out. So he calls for Laura to come out of the trailer.
Yes, come. You can answer him.
Did you see that, you guys? Did you see the state that Laura is in? Oh my goodness. She is totally in mind control of the highest. She is only talking when the highest tells her to talk. She is only answering to the highest. Y'all, I'm sad to say our girl Laura is mentally gone because of all the blessing powder that the highest sprayed on her. So then, you guys, last but not least, we finally see Andrew in the car, and he is attempting to go to the house of Lynn and Brian and set the scene as the highest and Daikon instructed him to. But unfortunately, he ends up getting a flat tire, and he stops, he pulls over, attempts to fix the flat tire, opens up the trunk. You see the bodies of Lynn and Brian. For those of you that have been asking where's Brian, unfortunately, Brian is gone. So then up pulls up Kate, the sheriff. I don't know at what point Sheriff Kate was able to leave, but she left, and now Andrew has to kind of come up with an excuse to this sheriff agent as to why he is standing outside of this car. With that being said, you guys, that was the end of the Ruthless episode. What did you guys think? What moments of the episode were your favorites? Drop in the comments below. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tapping into All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts. If you're new to my channel, finding me for the very first time, and you've made it this far, thank you so much. But please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can receive reminders of brand new content, okay? All right, you guys, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for tapping into All Things Ruthless. Make sure you check out my next video, and you already know, stay ruthless.